Paranormal Room.
Have you ever encountered something you couldn't explain?
Ghosts, were they strangers or were they family?
Cryptids, alien encounters.
Strange animal encounters, child spirits.
Whatever your experience, we want to hear about it.
Email your story to WLTK-DB paranormalroom@gmail.com for your chance to share your story on the show. Again, that's WLTK-DB paranormalroom@gmail.com.
We're waiting for your story.
Hey, welcome. Logan, you want to bring us in?
Absolutely. Hey there, paranormal fans. How's it going? I am Logan, joined by Christina, or over there.
Over there.
Yes, that's where the camera is. Today we're talking about cryptids, which is probably what stole my ability to speak English.
That's probably true. I hadn't even thought about that. You're so right. I think I need more light here, people.
Maybe so. Some
how's
people
that?
might be wondering, what is a cryptid? Well, it's some sort of unexplainable or unnatural thing that people have reported sightings of, like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or Chupacabra, things like that.
Cool.
Thank you, Todd.
Did Todd send us a message? Send you a message?
Todd says he loves my Iron Maiden shirt.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I didn't even see that.
But yes, this week we are talking about cryptids, those spooky things that go bump in the night sometimes, maybe.
Awesome. I want to say a quick hello because we have some people jumping on here. Tristan,
Yes,
Robin,
absolutely.
Nikki. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And Tristan, I just want to tell you, on my last show, he posted a video in the comments of somebody trying to put a jack-o'-lantern on their head, and it was really funny. So if you want to, after this show, if you want to circle around and go look at that, it's in the comments on the Be the Change radio show for today. Okay. Nikki said, Mothman, everybody's favorite fuzzy dude.
Mothman is definitely one of my favorite cryptids, if only thematically. There's this whole legend around Mothman that whenever he's sighted in a major population center, something's about to go down. I didn't think that I had any personal cryptid stories, but I actually did see Mothman. I think so anyways, on my way to pick someone up from O'Hare Airport.
Wow. Really?
But that was over 3-4 years ago. And I mean, as far as I know, nothing tragic has happened at O'Hare Airport other than it being O'Hare Airport.
Right. Stress inducing. That's why I fly you into Milwaukee. Milwaukee is so much easier to deal with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, wow. So you saw Mothman. What, was it like flying over you or?
I believe I saw it perched on top of a streetlight post.
Wow.
It was half a second between double takes that I thought that I saw it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, they don't seem to like to show themselves for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, this is more of a joke, but has anyone just considered that maybe Bigfoot's just naturally blurry?
Good point. Since there are no clear pictures anywhere of Bigfoot, you might have a point there. I hadn't even thought about that. That was awesome. Where's your bum?
Right. Oh, wait. Crap, I forgot it.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Well, you in the chat, please let us know if you have any personal cryptid stories or if you know someone who's encountered a cryptid of some kind.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I do have a couple cryptids that I would like to go over that are just kind of some of my favorite lesser-known cryptids.
Okay. I'd love to hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, first off, we have the Frogman of Ohio.
All right.
Loveland, Ohio has one of the more interesting cryptids. The first stories of the frogman, or frogmen, began to appear in the 1950s when a businessman claimed to have seen multiple large bipedal frogs along the Little Miami River. The first official sighting of the frogman took place in 1972 and was witnessed by 2 policemen on 2 separate occasions. Officer Ray Shockey was first to saw the creature on March 3rd, 1972 at 1 a.m. Officer Shockey was driving to Loveland, Ohio, when he saw what he thought was a dog in a field next to the road. However, when it stood up, its eyes were illuminated by his car lights, and he could see that it appeared to be a giant bipedal frog. The cryptid jumped over a guardrail and slid down the hill into Little Miami River. The officer got such a good look at the creature that he could describe it well enough that his sister could draw it. Officer Shockey went back to the station and brought another officer, Mark Matthews, to the scene the same night. The only evidence they found was the skid marks on the embankment where the creature slid down into the river. A few weeks later, on March 17th, Officer Matthews had his own experience with the frogman. He was driving and saw what he thought was an animal in the middle of the road. He stopped his car, got out, and the creature got up, crouched in the middle of the road, and then stood up, climbed over the guardrail, while keeping its eyes fixed on Officer Matthews. For some reason, Officer Matthews decided to draw his gun and shoot at the cryptid, but he missed. Quite honestly, yeah, that's a pretty spooky situation. I can't guarantee I would not have opened fire as well.
So Tristan has a comment about the frogman. First
Yes.
of all, he wants to talk about Bigfoot. He said he believes that Bigfoot is naturally blurry. Otherwise, somebody would have had a clear picture by now.
Fair enough.
All right. And he also says, I know I need some of the frogmen to come and take out these mosquitoes around here. And he's in Kentucky. So, yeah.
Yes, they must honor the old treaty.
Yes. Robin said, very creepy. Nikki said that Bigfoot is just a walking smudge.
Honestly, fair enough. I'd be prepared to accept that.
Yeah, really. That's pretty interesting. We did get one email in, and that was from a woman named Nadine. We're actually going to have her and her husband on at a different show, and we'll have to talk about when to do that. Yeah, but she gave me permission to share her story. So I am just going to read to you the email that she sent us, and it's, good morning. I'm responding to your post on Facebook about the paranormal experience with an animal. And this was actually more of a cryptid. So this is why we saved it till this week. In late summer of 1991, we began a rather terrifying encounter, yet with a Dogman-like creature. We lived 34 miles from the land between the lakes, the area known for the LBL monster. We were stalked for months by a tall, menacing bipedal wolf. It attacked our house on more than one occasion and drove us out. We actually considered ourselves lucky to be able to leave. On the night of the last attack, it was terrifying. And when the door popped open, we thought we were going to die, but it had vanished. We packed up and moved out and didn't return for our belongings. We hadn't managed to pack before nightfall on the last day. The entire incident lasted several months, and at one point we thought we were going to die. Now, I know my parents lied when they said there were no beings like werewolves or any other Hollywood monsters. They exist. If you go your whole life and never encounter one, you would be lucky. I wish I hadn't known the truth. After these separate encounters with the Dogman, I no longer feel safe in the woods. My life will never be the same. And that was Nadine's email to us. LBL is about an hour from Tristan, and I don't remember where in Kentucky he is, but I know that that's where he lives. The land between the lakes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so that was, I actually referred her to someone who is a Dogman researcher and someone who has done a lot of work with that. I really feel like before she comes on the show, she might want to really understand her experience more.
No, that's entirely fair. Yeah. And honestly, that sounds a lot like the Beast of Bray Road.
It does, doesn't
which
it?
is another
Yeah.
lycanthropic entity.
So go ahead and tell us about that. I know I took guitar lessons from someone who lived on Bray Road, and I kept looking for it, but I never saw it.
Ah, yes. Let's see, where are we? That's not it. Sorry, I've got several windows open with cryptids.
That's okay. That's quite all right. I'm actually going to pop on my regular Facebook page and invite people to send us their cryptid stories or to join us in their cryptid stories. So,
all right, the Beast of Bray Road. I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. Also known as the Bray Road Beast and the Wisconsin Werewolf, is a purported humanoid wolf-like creature allegedly witnessed in or near the rural community of Elkhorn, Walworthy County, Wisconsin. It has since become part of Wisconsin folklore and has been the subject of multiple books, documentaries, and a 2005 horror film. Also, Ozzy and his son made a special MTV appearance to Bray Road to try and find it.
Did they really?
They did, actually, yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
It was all very comical and very expected of MTV, but it was interesting all the same.
Yeah.
The Beast of... Sorry.
Go ahead.
The Beast of Bray Road is most often described by alleged witnesses as large, between 6 feet and 7 feet, with a humanoid body style covered in matted fur or hair, with a head resembling that of a wolf or bear. It is purported to have been seen moving as both quadruped and biped, and some reports describe it more closely resembling a traditional werewolf or Bigfoot. Allegedly first sighted in 1936, in the night, several alleged witnesses reported the beast as having made contact with their vehicles, leaving long scratch marks on the door and trunks of vehicles. One witness stated she hit something while crossing Bray Road. Upon exiting her vehicle to determine what she had hit, supposedly a large wolf-like creature with red eyes chased her back to her car, leaving claw marks in the rear passenger door. Sightings have also reported during daylight hours, with several witnesses stating they have observed unusually large wolf-like creatures running on all fours through the cornfields. One stated the creature was in pursuit of a deer. Animal mutilations have also been reported in the area around Bray Road, with animal remains, including deer and livestock, partially eaten, with specific organs removed from the animal carcasses. Another witness reported driving down Bray Road late one night and observed an unusually large wolf-like creature eating an animal which had been hit by a car on the side of the road. The creature reportedly ran into the woods as eyewitnesses approached in their vehicle. Bray Road is actually a place that I have been. When I was in high school, I was part of a sort of a ghost hunters club, I guess, and we visited various reportedly paranormal locations around southern Wisconsin. That was one of the locations, and there was also some sort of bridge with a gravity anomaly, where like your car rolled backwards up the hill.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Wisconsin's a weird place, y'all. Just letting you know. We are not exaggerating. Wisconsin is bizarre. It is bizarre. It is just weird. And apparently so is Kentucky. Tristan says that is some spooky stories down there. An underwater town, a cemetery down there too. And he's talking about the land between the lakes.
Yes. I've heard about the underwater town.
Yeah.
That is some spookiness.
Serious spookiness. Although in was it Lake Mills? There's apparently like what is it? It's either a pyramid or it's like a Stonehenge thing in the lake. And there's and there's also like a Stonehenge thing in Lake Michigan.
Yes.
Closer to the Michigan side than the Wisconsin side, but
the one in Lake Michigan has been carbon dated back to the 70s.
Okay. So somebody put it there.
Yeah, somebody put it there and wanted
Okay.
people to wonder about it.
All right. Well, that makes sense, I guess, because we all wonder about stuff all the time. Tristan says he's coming to Wisconsin. I say, welcome.
Woo!
We will set a place for you here, buddy.
Come on, we've got plenty of cheese.
We got lots of cheese. And if beer is the thing, we got lots of that too.
Nikki says, "Stay weird, Wisconsin."
Yeah. Yep. Weird place, I'm telling you. There's so much bizarre stuff. And I know, like, just around rivers, and there's a lot of rivers here, and there's a lot of lakes and smaller lakes too. People see all kinds of weird stuff in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And it's like, so, but we're all like really like we're not all farmers, but we all kind of have that there has to be a logical reason kind of a thing behind it, right? So, it was just an elk, or it was just a big deer. Okay. Ashley loves cheese. So do I, Ashley. So do I.
Cheese is life.
Yes.
Speaking of the Midwest and cryptids,
Yes.
I'm sure lots of us who grew up in the Northern Belt are aware of some of the cryptids up there, like the hodag.
Mm-hmm. I grew up 20 miles from there. Yeah.
Yes, I know you did.
Rhinelander has a thing called a hodag, and it's like the town mascot. And I mean, they have like music festivals and all kinds of stuff named after the hodag. But I had read something recently, and I should have probably looked it up before the show, where it actually was like something that somebody saw and they drew a picture of.
Oh yeah, it's this huge, like 30 to 40 foot long reptilian creature with large pointy spines across its back and these huge, like, saber teeth.
Robin says, "Now I know why you moved there." LOL. Robin, I started here.
Yeah, like this is the default start point for Wisconsinites.
Yeah, right. I know. Robin is actually one of my friends from the Seattle area.
Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, I actually know her and Nikki personally. I've met them. I've been in their home. I've known them for a long time.
Tristan says, "Y'all should have huge mouse creatures there, lol." Well, we would have if we didn't hunt them into extinction to protect our cheese.
Yes, exactly. What is it? The ROUSs?
Yes, the ROUSs, rodents of unusual size. There's a reason they don't exist anymore.
Apparently, Robin didn't realize I started out in Wisconsin. All right.
Well, now you know.
Now you know. I started out here, and I just keep getting sucked back into the vortex of Wisconsin. So
the cheese and Midwestern beer vortex, as I call it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so much into the beer thing, but yeah.
Well, obviously, yes, but
yeah.
Cheese definitely.
Yes, cheese is life. So we've been talking about cryptids, and someone had asked me actually sometime, I don't know, in the last couple of weeks, I don't remember exactly, but do things like fairies and dragons and gnomes, do those fall into the cryptid, or are those more fantastical? What is your take on that?
Personally, I see that as more like fae or fantastical.
Okay.
Because in order to be a cryptid, it has to have some sort of semi-recent sighting.
Okay.
Right. And as far as I know, the last documented fairy sighting was in England and was personally saw to by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, well, that explains a lot about his writing then, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it turns out that these two local women were staging photo shoots.
Okay.
That was what he found.
Okay. It doesn't mean that they were wrong, though.
Fair enough.
I mean, in Ireland, don't they have like little fairy villages that people build for their fairies, the fairy
Oh
community?
yes, that's pretty
Yeah.
common among the northeastern European nations.
Okay. I know you're way more up on history than I am. I just kind of, you know. Yeah, Tristan said, could they be elemental? I think that they are elemental. I think that, fairies and sylphs and what was I going to say? Mermaids and all of that. I think that those are elemental for the most part, but mermaids could also be sea cryptids.
Right. And I suppose part of that is like much like us, any sort of organism is influenced by its environment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if we've learned anything with being alive, it's that life is very resilient.
It is.
And adaptable. So it could just be that collectively these creatures got together and were like, hey, these human things kind of suck. Should we just head out?
Yeah, right. The heck are these things? Ashley wants to be a mermaid.
You know what? You have fun. I'm not going anywhere near the ocean.
No, he does not like oceans. Logan Jacobson does not like oceans. It has been stated publicly.
Mm-mm.
All right. So I want to kind of just do a little bit of flip here because I know that you have another area of expertise.
True.
And that area would be video games. Where do cryptids come into play in video games? Because I know that they're in there.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the times it'll just be like an Easter egg in the game, like in Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. You can find Bigfoot, who is like one of the last of their kind, and you only find it after this crazy hillbilly in the woods. It says like, "Oh, them Bigfoots, they're eating our babies," and you go and hunt them down.
I've seen Red Dead Redemption. I can totally picture that. You used to play that all the time.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic game, but it definitely cues in on the insanity that is human beings.
Oh, for sure.
It sounds like Kentucky.
He does it really well, doesn't he, Tristan? Oh my gosh. I did watch a video once with Ashley in it, and she is just so cute. She's got that Kentucky accent. She's just adorable. Yeah, I just remember spot on, Logan. There you go. Yes. Logan's been practicing that, Tristan. So I know that some of those games I can't even watch because there's like werewolves and there's like all kinds of weird looking monsters, and those had to come from somewhere, right?
Absolutely. And while the human imagination does play a large role, there's only so much that we can envision.
Right.
Like there are, those are the best games, Tristan.
Yeah.
Solid. Spot on.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to watch Logan play some of these creepy video games.
Yes, especially with October here.
Yeah. Shoot us. What do you got there? Shoot it at us.
At Turtle Island Gaming on YouTube. If you like people making a fool of themselves while playing video games badly, then you will love my channel. Please check out my channel, Turtle Island Gaming, at youtube.com. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit like, and sit back and relax.
And I actually do sometimes go on there and watch the games for a little bit until I get busy, but because they're so fast moving. I mean, like if you are at all prone to motion sickness, don't.
Well, for the VR videos as well.
Oh yeah. How do you even do that with VR? I mean, like, how do you get it from like right here in front of you onto a screen where people can see it?
Well, because I have several programs that help me with that.
Okay.
And if people are interested, I will break that down further. But I have programs that record those other programs as if it were just a screen.
Hmm. And I have trouble getting into the right StreamYard room, so it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so some of the other things, like I was looking up cryptids online,
Yeah.
and there were things that kind of look like almost like spider people. And
Yes.
what is? Do you know what that is? It was like, oh, it looked weird.
Well, in the Dungeons and Dragons community, it's called a Drider,
Okay,
which
there
is
was
sort
like
of like a spider centaur.
it was spider people. Never seen those. That's Nikki. it was something I saw. I looked up pictures, images of cryptids is what I Googled,
Okay.
and those excuse me, they were, a lot of them are just pictures that were caught on trail cams, like in the woods. She's gonna Google that right now. Awesome. You know what the metaverse is, Logan?
The metaverse, if you're talking about the new Facebook adaptation, I refuse to acknowledge that.
Okay. Ashley has issues with normal spiders. So do I.
But as far as knowing what the metaverse is, I suppose I do know what the metaverse is, but also refuse to really interact with it in any way other than having VR.
Yeah. Well, Tristan's with you. He says felt. I love how words have become complete sentences. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's new. All right. Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of weird things when I looked up cryptids, and I had actually intended, I wouldn't even know how to bring them up here or show them, but I had written them down somewhere, and of course, you know what my desk looks like. It's lost to history at this point, but
right.
Oh gosh, Googling that was pure nightmare fuel. I should have probably warned you about that, Nikki. I'm sorry. You can get back at me next week.
Okay, when I described something as a spider centaur, what were you really expecting? That's on you.
Sorry, Nikki. Stephanie Lynn. All right. Have you ever encountered or heard of a cryptid that is opaque and moves similar to how a bag would float and has a blob appearance?
Yes, actually. I was just reading about this earlier today.
Okay.
Let's see, where is it? Yes, the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
There's a name for those?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
The first time anyone caught the Fresno Nightcrawlers on video was in 2007. A resident of Fresno, California, hence the name, found on his home surveillance camera of a video of a nightcrawler walking boldly as you please across his front yard. Sorry, my English just suddenly evaporated from my brain.
I've been having that problem all week. Don't worry about it. Might be genetic.
The nightcrawler on the video appears vaguely humanoid with 2 long legs, no arms, a small head, and 2 eyes. Nightcrawlers have also been observed on security tapes in Yosemite National Park. There's evidence among native legends and in wooden carvings made by the local Native Americans that indicate the Fresno Nightcrawlers are very real. Local native legends from the Fresno area indicate these beings have always been here, even before humans existed. They have long legs because they live in a swamp world, and the long legs help them move through the boggy swamp areas. Another native story about the Fresno Nightcrawlers is that they are showing up because they want to help humans reconnect with nature.
Interesting. Okay, Stephanie has had an experience in Wisconsin. Where can I find information?
That is a great question. Honestly, just look up Fresno Nightcrawlers or look up cryptid plus your description. And it may not be the Fresno Nightcrawlers. It might be something else entirely.
Wow. So Stephanie is actually, she has a show on this station. So she is a show host. Yeah. So Stephanie, if you want to get on here and tell us what you're talking about, hit Todd up for a link. All right. So let's see. We have, I was kind of losing track here. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Nikki says, ha, ha, ha. It's okay. But like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tristan says that's why Ashley didn't do it. I assume that means look it up. Robin says, I've heard of them. Ashley says, yeah, we've seen those on those paranormal video shows. Creepy AF. All right. Facebook user, I've had the most amazing experience with a Wendigo. Amazing teachers. You want to tell us a little more about that? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
you got the
please,
look.
Please tell me more about that, because when I hear Wendigo, what I don't think is teacher.
Well, anything can be a teacher, right?
This is true. I mean, poisonous, venomous snakes teach you not to be around them by biting you.
Stephanie says, LOL, no one wants to see me in bed in my jammies. Yeah, okay, I just want to give a shout out to Stephanie at this point. She is in bed watching a show about cryptids. You are the bravest woman I know.
Yes, enjoy your nightmares, please.
Oh my gosh, she's awesome. If you're a channel of spirit, you have to be taught not to fear so we can actually help people. Facebook user, I don't actually know who you are. Anthony, who is actually getting in here on Facebook, says everything has a name and classification. So,
yeah.
Oh, Tristan's in bed too. Robin, nope, she's crazy. You guys are so much fun. I'm so glad that you're out here. Oh, Crystal Jordan. Okay, hi, Crystal. Thanks for joining us. You're coming up with a just Facebook user. So thank you for letting us know your name. So have you channeled Wendigos? Okay. You know what? We are at 32 minutes past the hour. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
I was just going to say.
All right. Thanks.
Ellie Weisensel's psychic medium is a medical intuitive that specializes as a body code practitioner. As an energy healer, Ellie offers additional services that allow her modalities to be intertwined with energetic healing. Within your subconscious lies information that knows everything about you and why you deal with specific conditions. The subconscious can be considered the blueprint to your entire body. With Ellie working physically with your subconscious mind, we detect what negative emotions are trapped and where they are stored within the body that is causing you your emotional and physical pain. This work is designed to remove imbalances and correct them energetically, getting to the root cause of why you have your condition, to help balance your body so it may heal itself. Your body is infinitely wise and wants to be in balance. The body code is not only gentle for humans, but it is also a gentle process to help animals. For more information, contact Ellie Weisensel at the website below.
Go ahead, Logan, bring us back in.
All right. While we were away, Nikki Cribbs asked, "What's a Wendigo again?" I'd Google it, but now I'm afraid to. You know what? That is fair. A Wendigo is one of the few things that, one of the few cryptids that I am actually wary of. Wendigo is based on a Native American legend, whereupon a Wendigo is born from an act of cannibalism. Wendigos act sort of as dark spirits of vengeance, enacting violence and unspeakable horrors on those who invoke them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it most often portrayed as a extremely tall, like disproportionately tall and lanky humanoid with a deer skull worn on its head, and the human head deformed to fit inside.
Yikes.
They are most often seen as a spirit being, yes. They're seen as avatars of hunger and rage.
I am trying to send a link to Crystal Jordan, but there are like a dozen of them here. So, oh, okay. So he had fed off from the neighbor's energy and was looking for new victims. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Crystal, if you would like to scroll down, there is a link for you where you can join us and tell us your story live on the show.
And I'm right there with you, Robin. I don't want to meet one either.
Yeah. Me too. All right. I don't know if she's going to or not, but anyway, she's been invited. So, Nikki, me three. Yeah, I am right there with you. The Wendigo is not something to mess with.
If you have the time, I would highly recommend going on to YouTube and typing in SCP Wendigo Skull.
Now, is that WEND or WIND?
WEND.
END. Okay.
Wendigo.
Okay. All right.
DB DI.
DI. Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. I know. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Wendigos as cryptids. Like, it didn't even occur to me. And
honestly, normally I don't either.
Yeah. All right,
Absolutely,
Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah. Also, I keep forgetting you can see the comments. Sorry. You know what? One of the other things, skinwalkers.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about some skinwalkers. You know, I watched that whole Skinwalker Ranch documentary. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yes.
That was crazy. Crazy, crazy. But yeah, I think you probably know more about it than I do.
Well, skinwalkers is one of those things that kind of taps into our primal fear of something that looks human but isn't.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the whole uncanny valley response comes from, where if something looks human but is clearly not, we're immediately distrustworthy of it, which indicates that at some point in our evolution, both as a species and several cultures, we had to be wary of something that looked human but wasn't.
Yeah, the Skinwalker documentary, it's let's see, what was it? It was something about Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. That I found that on Roku. I don't think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on Roku. I think that's where I found it. It's a Skinwalker Ranch, though. It was you'll find it with just those two words.
Yeah. Even if you just Google it, it should tell you where you can find it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Nikki. No problem. I know that I love that you guys are bringing this stuff up because
absolutely,
you know, it's like I had this whole list of stuff in my mind, and then I get on camera, and then it just all flies away.
Speaking of things that look human but aren't, I do have another cryptid in that vein.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
I'm sleeping with the lights on tonight.
Good idea. This one is another native legend. The Pukwudgies.
Oh, yeah. All right, I want to hear this. Go.
Pukwudgies have been part of Native American lore as of the American East for centuries before the coming of the Europeans. Some Native Americans believed that they used to get along well with humans, but that something happened that turned them against us. One of the stories from the Wampanoag tribe claims that they called on Maushop, the giant, to remove the Pukwudgies from their lands because they were annoying. The Pukwudgies have held a grudge against humanity ever since. Most native tribes say it is best to give wide berth to the Pukwudgies if you encounter one. Their name means person of the wilderness. So one of my brothers is apparently a Pukwudgie. Not kidding. He bought a plot of land, undeveloped entirely, in the middle of Missouri. He is officially a Pukwudgie.
All right. So so she put in here she didn't receive a link. So if you scroll up in the chat, you will see where WLTK-DB Talk Radio posted a link. That's where you will want to go to get your link so that you can come on and tell us about your experience. Let's see. Oh my God, samesies. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Nikki, because we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Or were you replying to the Facebook user that said, I didn't receive a link?
I was, but also Nikki said samesies.
Well, that person also talked about Wendigos, so Nikki could be referring to that as samesies.
Could be, yeah. So, Crystal, if you just want to stroll up through the comments, there are 3 in a row that have the same link that you can copy and paste.
Oh, about sleeping with the light on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sleeping with the light on. Well, I have a room that, like, my bedroom faces a, oh, there it is, StreamYard. Thank you, Todd. There's like a street light right outside my window, so scrolling seems to be stuck. Okay, well, he just reposted the links here, so if anyone wants to.
Yeah, they should be just above your comment, Robin.
So now you would scroll down, I guess, Crystal. So my camera just went fuzzy. Isn't that funny?
There's a trick that I found for getting autofocus to refocus. Put your hand near the camera and then bring it back to your face.
Alrighty. Nope.
Well, you got to let it rest there for a bit to get the picture.
Oh, there it is. Now it's
there.
back.
You see? There you go.
Now it's back. I thought maybe there was some sort of cryptid thing going on, and
Bigfoot was near. You automatically became blurry.
All right, Crystal is waiting backstage. How about we bring her out and let her tell us her Wendigo story?
Absolutely, coming back.
All right. Hey, Crystal, welcome.
Love your backdrop.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I can't hear nothing.
It is so crazy because, like, I have, like, this weird thing happening. I'm trying to get my husband in on this because he was a part of the situation. And so that's why I was, like, trying to get him here. So we had, and I can't hear you guys. I don't know what's happening with my settings right now. Apparently they're saying, no, we can't talk to her right now. So hold on momentarily while I disconnect.
Now we can't hear you.
This is going swimmingly.
It happens. There we go. We can hear you again.
Okay, we're here. So
we can hear you again. We've got a lot of feedback.
Okay, we're here. So
we've got a lot of feedback.
Okay, we're here.
We've got a lot of feedback. Somebody does not want their story told. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I want you to come back out and tell your story. It's just, we have a lot of sound issues sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun. I just realized how much we look like each other when we were both doing this. We're going to bring them back out. We just got to get the sound issue fixed because I really want to hear their story. Hey, Crystal's husband.
Okay.
Am I the one
It's not allowing us to do it.
Why is it echoing?
It's not allowing us to do it.
Because it's looping out of your speakers and into your microphone.
How do they fix that?
By playing it through a headset.
Okay, good to know. That's okay. It seems like my shows, and I'm sure that Robin and Nikki and Logan can all attest. If there's something that's going to go technologically weird, it's going to happen to me. It's literally a loop of your word speaking.
Yeah, it's looping. It's creating a feedback loop from your speakers to your microphone and back.
Oh, Nikki said, does she have both the StreamYard window and the Facebook chat window on? That will do it. So
I
if
mean,
you close
if
the Facebook chat window.
Yeah. Well, if nothing's plugged in, then that means a microphone's not plugged in and we wouldn't be able to hear you anyways.
Yeah. Anthony says this is the best show ever. I love it. Thank you, Anthony. We are having so much fun here tonight. This is a blast. Nikki, oh, that's true. All right. She could do that or just mute one of them so that there's only one audio going. Okay. She says it's just my computer now. Okay. I don't know. Well, hopefully we'll be able to bring Crystal up, but if not, we can have her on a different show where we can have her like set up ahead of time.
This is true.
Yeah. So if we can't get you on tonight, Crystal, we'll get you on another show. Hit up my Facebook page, Christina with a K, L Bloom. If you just do Christina Bloom, it's a page I can't access. So it has to be Christina L Bloom. So if you hit me up there, then we can get you set up on another date if this isn't going to work tonight. Seriously, you can ask Todd. He'll tell you. If there's going to be a tech issue on a show, it's going to be my show.
I know the feeling.
Maybe that's genetic too. Sorry you didn't get any of the good stuff. Anyway, you got all the good stuff from the other side.
Hey, I don't know. If I can find a way to market my ability to break any computer system, I'll be golden.
You just need a job at a testing facility.
Yeah, but they want a degree for that.
Really? To test? Oh.
I know.
That's how I always learn with all the weird bugs and tech issues. That's because, Nikki, you like puzzles. I don't like puzzles. I just want it to work. So, let's see. Yep. Todd said yep, but I'm not sure what to. Okay. Let's see. I can't get my stuff to connect now, so I will say one of you can go to my YouTube page, Spirit Speaks. Just walked through the door from work, and it was like perfect timing because he was there and witness this. So witness. Oh, no, I'll proceed down the road. Also, I'm voice texting, so please understand my words may sound funny. I feel that because my car always like comes up with the weirdest stuff no matter what I say. So, yeah, Crystal, I definitely want, now that I know what you look like, I can probably find you in the list of Crystal Jordans. But I wanted to, we really want to bring you back on a show to talk about this because I think that would be like a really, really fascinating topic is to just have a show on Wendigo. I think that would be a fantastic topic. Hey, Anne.
It's a very involved subject.
It really is a very involved subject. And, you know, there are some other people that you know probably, and I know for sure that I know, that would love to be able to come on a show and talk about Wendigo from their own cultural perspective. So, yeah. If there was a problem you always solve it, check out my hook page.
I think we figured this out.
Awesome. Hey. Okay. All right. We're going to keep Todd up fast as we can. What's your name? Sorry.
Ben.
Ben. Hi. Ben and Crystal.
And he was there for the experience. And
okay.
The reason I said that, like, you could look at this as being a skinwalker, because if you see a skinwalker, generally speaking, they're the ones that tend to mimic human and don't come to you as that crazy, like, skull with all of the stuff. They don't come like that, okay? So a lot of people could say that this was more of a skinwalker experience than a Wendigo experience. However, with what my guides presented to me, that's not what this was. And they also put them together in the same group or the same category as energy eaters. So that's how it was presented to me. And so it was a beautiful experience for me. I don't know what it was for him.
Well, I was like,
he saw me react to
Yeah.
the thing by the shed, and I was like, bro, what are you? Because it really was not, like I said, when I say these things, everybody thinks that like I've got my shit together. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. Especially in the moment, I do react,
Oh, yeah,
especially if it's something that I haven't experienced before. And this thing stepped out with all of its power, and it was literally like, get back. And in that moment, I got back because that's what people do.
Because you're smart.
Yeah.
because and then I sift and I sit and I'm like, okay, so what is happening here? And that's when I call my guides in. And I do receive spirit differently, and I do teach it differently. And I'm just going to say, I think the reason why I've been through all of the crap that I've been through in my life is because I don't fear things.
Right.
Spirit can't present me anything in life that I haven't already received in human form. So
I feel your sisters. Yeah, exactly. Same here.
This is what they do to me. I'll sit and see what you are, and my guides will break it down for me. And that was a night that
that was the first time I saw her. Actually, she was startled. I've seen her face demons, negative spirits and stuff like that. But I could tell. I was probably 20 feet away from her.
I was like,
yeah,
stopped, and she like bent over and was like, okay, I need a minute. And I'm like, whoa, she must have just encountered something.
So I bent over because, and you being a medium, you understand.
Yes.
What they do is they try to feed off from that fear that you have inside of you. But if you don't really have fear that they can feed off from what they
don't know what to do.
They instead show you what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And what they had showed me was that there was a property line, and their shed was right on that property line. Well, the people that we were there investigating for actually went to their neighbor's house, and there was a pathway. He was an elderly gentleman who had illness upon illness just come up out of nowhere, and poof, he's sick all of a sudden with all these things, and he had cancer. And that's what he did. When I stepped up upon him, instead of feeding me my own fears, he placed inside of me what he had placed inside of this neighbor that was giving him the power to feed off from his energy. And in that moment, he also showed me what he was doing with these other people, because what they didn't understand is that by walking over that line of property, they have invited this space, and they opened up that door, and so their property lines were no longer protected. And so that's what that situation was. He was showing me like, no, they gave me permission. You don't have the right to be here, B.
Right.
The property and, do whatever. So on that night, do you want to tell them about the box?
Oh, that was,
This is so cool.
Yeah. We were leaving. We were talking about what had happened, and we had gone down the road, turned around the corner, and I was not even, I don't even know what the distance was. It wasn't that far, but we got down the road a little ways, and a fox ran out in the middle of the road and just stopped and looked at us. Just looked right at both of us.
Glowing yellow eyes. Like we had seen it running. We were in a very rural part of Michigan. So we had seen it. And also there was a noise where you can talk about the noise because you're a dude, you've been hunting. That was intense. And so we saw this little thing. I thought it was a chihuahua running on the side of the road. I was like, what is this thing running on the side of the road? And so I stopped my car because I like animals, and I was going to get out and save this thing. And it wasn't. It was a fox. As soon as I stopped the car and went to get out, this thing stepped, and it literally like puffed its chest out and was menacingly looking at us, because we told the homeowners right before then that we were going to get a shaman to come back, and we were going to take care of that because it needed to be taken care of and that protection line needed to be back. And so that's why I said it was a beautiful teacher, because it helped me understand my fear and presence in that moment, and kind of be able to also face my own fears or things. And it just gives you that little bit of a push to realize, I guess, your power And
Yeah.
I think if more people understood their power and didn't fear these things, then more people wouldn't experience like PTSD, anxiety, depression, and all these other things that come to the surface from attachments that come from spirit as a whole. And so when we deal with some of these things and we kind of stand in our power and be like, yeah, no, that's a little bit of a step in the positive direction, I think, for humanity itself. And if we could just get everybody to see their light and see their purpose, I think that would be a great thing to hold space for with everybody.
Thank you, Robin.
Thanks, Robin. Commenting about the look on Logan's face while you're talking. So I am actually not even a little bit surprised that you saw a fox, because a fox is a trickster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not even a little bit surprised.
Also, in many cultures, a messenger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny because my cousin actually is the shaman. So he was the one that I was like, hey, we need you. Crystal can't do this. She doesn't do that crap. And I know my place, and that's not it.
I agree with you. And I recently came up against I'm going to call it a tar demon because I don't know what else to call it, but it was like this big tar thing. And I called in spirit guides. I called in deities. I called in warrior angels, because I am not going up against that alone, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to hear more about this tar thing, because I have several ideas of cryptids it could be.
Do you go against like a lot of cryptids? Have you seen a lot of cryptids?
Personally, no. But it is a subject I am intensely interested in.
I love them. I think they're manifestations. I don't necessarily think that all of them exist. And I think that some of them are multidimensional. And I think some of them are H.P. Lovecraft shit.
Fair enough.
I
And
agree.
with how much we don't understand about our surroundings, that's very likely.
I agree with you completely. And it's I totally understand. There was one gentleman who brought me in 3 different times to do a cleansing on his home. And I kept finding these tarry, black, sticky things that kind of moved. And then I realized he was doing it. Yep. He was doing it. Like the second time that I went back, I'm like, dude, you're running prostitution, you're running gambling, you're running drugs out of this house. Why did you think this wouldn't happen to you?
It's amazing how much people don't understand. They open the door to certain things. Yeah. I was like, he's had an attachment before. He talks about, we talk very openly about our experience.
Okay. I want to hear Ben tell us about this.
Okay. I don't even know where to start. I found out that it was one that I had manifested myself at like 7 years old.
Hold on. I had nothing to do with this once again.
Okay.
Not a me thing at all.
Personal,
all right.
We had a friend who assisted in removing it, and I didn't realize how much control it had over me. And the thoughts that I thought were mine weren't mine. I had issues with addiction for years, and as soon as I had it removed, and I saw the whole thing, that was crazy. It was Callie was the one who removed it. We were in the other end of the house, and I apologize, my alarm's going off.
Oh, well, this tonight is a night.
Right. She had removed it, and she told me to imagine sitting in a white room in a chair and look over my right shoulder and see it. And I looked over my shoulder, and I saw it looked like a naked mole rat with fangs. And I'm like, okay. And she took a lasso with angelic symbols on it and lassoed it and drug it out the door. And as she drug it out the door, I saw this whole thing in my head, and it snarled, and then the door slammed. Well, there at the other end of the house, it was Callie's sister Denise, was with Crystal, and they heard the snarl and the door slam. And this all happened in my head.
This like deep, intense growl. Like I was about ready to go in there because once again, medium who's all up in her head in this moment, like not in spirit at all. I was all in ego, like save him. And I was about to run in there because we heard this deep, intense growl and this door slam, and it was quite intense for him.
Yeah, and shortly after I had it removed, I I decided I was going to get off opiates. I had surgery to fix my back. I got off disability and went back to work. It was just amazing how that was like the turning point in me bettering my life.
What an
Absolutely.
amazing story. What an amazing story. Nikki wants to know, how long have you had this attachment? How long did you have the attachment?
30 years.
Wow.
30 years.
Like
To be able to recognize it?
Yeah.
Wow. To be able to recognize it though after 30 years, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I heard my first growl, actually. I've been doing this for decades. And I heard my first actual growl the same time I came up against that tar demon in a hotel. Like I'm walking down the hall and I heard this growl coming. And then I heard, and I was with my cousin and we both heard all of it. And then there was just this little voice going, "Mommy, Mommy." And it's like, oh man, yeah, that kid's spirit, actually he had been murdered by his mommy, and his soul had been like captured and held captive by that demon.
Aww.
So yeah, we did a lot of, for a hotel overnight, we did a lot of work.
See, like I don't want to veer off from cryptids because that's what this whole thing is supposed to be. People love those cryptids.
Right.
I would love to open the door at some. Actually, we just moved from Michigan to California, and I want to go out and explore and see if I can, experience skinwalkers and see if I can experience some of these things, because I'm not necessarily as fearful as what most people are. And I think that they have a story. I think all spirit, no matter what they are, I feel like all of them have some sort of a story or some sort of message.
I agree.
And I think that people should welcome that message into their life with a little bit of we gotta have
some
a little
discernment.
We can't just be out there, I want anything to happen. No, you have to be able to receive and feel. So if you're not strong enough to do that, then don't do that. But I think there's a lot more to be explored, and I would love someday to find a group of people who wanted to explore with purpose. Yeah. So I think that would be a very cool experience. Well, Thank you. I was literally chilling on my couch after my own live stream, and I came across it, and I was like, oh, I had an experience. It was really fun.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on this show. Technically, we ended 2 minutes ago, but we're still live. And
sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's all the technical stuff. So, we do have to guard ourselves a bit, but I also think that it's really important to be able to communicate. And I know that not all mediums can do this. I get that, because they just haven't practiced it, or maybe some of them aren't supposed to. But where I can communicate with something and I can understand what it needs and what it wants, and that doesn't necessarily mean it wants to go away.
Right.
Right.
But at least I have the understanding, and I'm able to communicate with it and try to get it to do something to stop hurting people.
Exactly. That's where the coexisting comes in. We have to understand that a lot of these things have been here before us, way before us.
Oh, yes.
They're not going anywhere. We just have to learn how to shield, protect ourselves from whatever energy they're sending our way. So,
right.
I feel like we're all connected to it anyway on some weird level.
Yeah, I think we are. Well, we're all made of the same stuff. We're all made of the stars. It's all good. First of all, Ben and Crystal, thank you so much for dealing with the technical issue and getting on the show and sharing your story. Very much appreciated. Logan, I want to thank you for being an amazing, amazing co-host, because you came in here with a whole lot more homework done than I did, and I appreciate that. And thank you, everyone in the chat and everyone who is watching or listening after. Because this will be turned into a podcast. So, Crystal, you will be on our podcast. So if you want to throw a website out there or something, here's your chance.
It's completely okay. This is your guys' jam. However, I may connect with Jacob if he's cool with it, because I would love to host something also on cryptids for people, just to get a spiritual understanding, the knowledge behind. I'm not that girl.
Okay, Jacob.
I'm just not that girl.
My headset died.
Oh, do you mean Logan Jacobson?
Yes, Logan.
Okay. I will tell him.
There we go.
Okay, can you hear this now?
Yes.
Okay, she wants to connect with you about cryptids.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you're amazing. Your knowledge is like freaking amazing. And I have tons of people that would love to hear your knowledge. I don't have that ability. Knowledge isn't my gift.
Awesome. So you can be on her podcast. Or her
Absolutely.
live
I'd love
stream or
to.
whatever. Yeah. Wow. This has been such a great show. Everyone, Todd, thank you for letting us go 5 minutes over. Very much appreciated. I know people wanted to hear the stories. Ben, congratulations on everything that you have overcome to get to where you are. That's amazing. Everyone, thank you all so much. And we will be back next week. What is it we were talking? Oh, if you have stories about a haunted house that you grew up in, or maybe you live in now, what is the email? The email is WLTK-DB paranormalroom@gmail.com. Send us an email there, and we will get your story on the air next week. You guys have been amazing. The people in the chat, all the listeners, you guys on the show, thank you all so much, and we will be back next week.
And to sign off, a tiny bit of wisdom that I learned from a dream that involved a Wendigo.
Yeah?
The hatred that keeps you warm will leave you cold in the grave.
Ooh, chills.
Thanks for the goosebumps.
Good night, everybody.
Love you all.